Videotaped for broadcast due to either technical reason closed session pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public HT TV Channel 97 on Thursday, May 15th.
Thank you. We have a very special guest this evening that's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Kai, would you like to come up? Dad, you want to come with him?
Don't be nervous. Come on.
Everybody please stand.
All right, we're going to stand for you. Go ahead. Come on. You can do it. You want me to come with you? All right.
We can all do it together.
Come on.
Ready? Come on.
Let's go. Come on, Deputy Mayor.
Well, you're gonna say in here, we're gonna say the Pledge of Allegiance either way.
All right, fine.
Go ahead. Son.
For the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with peace and justice for all.
Thank you.
I have something else to say.
Yeah, what you have to say?
You gotta wait until they call you to talk.
Would he like to say
What,
something?
go ahead. Yes, go ahead and say something else.
Okay. The opposite was somebody else was not requested from somebody some direction from President Washington.
Slow down. Tell me what your name is.
Tell your name.
What's your name?
My name is Kai.
Okay.
I'm a silly slapper.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade, Fort Wayne Middle School, and I can also tell jokes.
Mr. Ellis likes jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have time for it.
Yeah, we.
Well, this direction was getting trusted to be understood it to be, because this one's going to be funnier, because the zebra has said to the cucumber, Haley?
Kai, thank you very much. Kai, thank you. Absolutely. Come on up.
Thank you so much for allowing him to come. We were at the Wawa, and I saw Mr. Hodson and Mr. Ellis. And Mr. Ellis tried to draft him to play football, but he didn't want to play. But he did say he always wants to be a leader. And he got to talking to Mr. Ellis and Mr. Hobson and presented him with the option of coming here tonight to address everybody and be deputy mayor for the day. And he's been talking to me about it for like two months every single day.
He's done a great job. You did a great job.
Say thank you.
Great job. And thank you for doing this for us tonight.
Yeah. So,
I like your shirt.
Yeah, I like that shirt. I like that shirt.
Get that shirt on.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to come to work with the people of the city. I used to work for the county. I used to see Paul all the time, and he used to fix all of my units'
You guys
vehicles.
broke too many of them.
We did.
That's happened to fleet maintenance over there.
Yeah, prosecutor's office has the largest fleet in the county, and we put him to work. But also working with Officer Armstrong in the back as he worked at the special service school and worked very closely with students and people who had all types of disabilities. And I worked with the city to help work with their special needs programs as well. So it's just a pleasure to see that it's not just for show, and that the people that represent the city actually care about the people that live here. So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
And make sure you wear my shirt too. All right?
Come wear it to school.
Absolutely. Kai, thank you for coming. Thank you.
See you later.
Family, thank you.
Oh, you thinking. Go ahead. All right. I'll see you soon, right? Come here. I'll see you at Wawa, okay? All right? Look at me. I'll see you at Wawa. Good job. All right.
Good job, Kai. Thank you.
All right, good.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Hey, where's your balloon, Kai? All right.
All right. I think we actually have to go back to the roll call.
Oh, yeah.
Can we have roll call, please?
You buy him anything you want?
Ray Ellis, Paul Hodson,
You hear Paul?
Yes.
William Pauls,
Here.
Paul Rosenberg,
Present.
Laura Firmer.
I'm here. Tonight,
He's got this mayor thing down.
You must have showed Ray his balloon.
call me and we set it up again. What you have to say, real quick, real quick.
Well, I, the A, Y, M, O, N, the D, the J, I. Service.
All right.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you. He was a good kid.
Yeah, you try to get him.
So tonight, we're going to start the meeting a little different. I'm going to ask the chief to come back up. This is Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. And locally, in 2006, we had a pretty horrific event happen here in town. 3 of our police officers were, well, 2 were shot and the other one was just, he was very lucky. But the gentleman, lack of another term, that did the crime is trying to get executive clemency. And it's something that each and every one of us oppose unbelievably. But I brought the chief in because as a leader of the department, these kind of things affect everybody. So Chief, I'm going to turn it over to you for a few minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mayor. This was actually it was last week that I found out about it from our local 77. They put out a kind of a canned letter in opposition to clemency for this subject. And if you'll forgive me, I'm not going to say his name. I don't feel that it deserves to be said. So the letter in opposition is from the members, all members of the Ann Arbor Township Police Department. I know Prosecutor Reynolds, Sheriff O'Donohue, and many others have authored letters and in opposition, and those are being sent obviously directly to the governor's office. The same with the one coming from the Ann Arbor Township Police Department. But rather than just put it under my name, I put a petition together that all members of the Ann Arbor Township Police Department, not just sworn, our professional staff, signs. That way it shows solidarity and unity in opposition of this clemency request. So the letter that we basically adopted, very similar to what the PBA put together, and if you will, I'll read it. And like I said, I'm not going to mention I call him the offender. So, although the letter to the governor will have his name, unfortunately. So it's strong opposition to clemency for the offender. Dear Governor Murphy, we, the members of the Ann Arbor Township Police Department, are writing to express our strong and unequivocal opposition to any consideration of clemency for the offender. His actions, criminal history, and conduct during incarceration make it absolutely clear that he is undeserving of any form of leniency. On July 13th, 2006, the offender violently resisted arrest despite a lawful arrest warrant issued for his apprehension. During the incident, he committed 3 counts of attempted murder, unlawfully possessed a firearm as a convicted felon, and disarmed a law enforcement officer, inflicting serious bodily injury. The offender fled and continued to pose a significant threat to the officers and community involved. Since his imprisonment, the offender has shown no remorse for his actions. Instead of accepting responsibility, he has filed appeal after appeal, all of which have been thoroughly reviewed and justly denied. His sentence has withstood every level of legal scrutiny, reinforcing the validity and seriousness of his conviction. What is particularly disturbing is the existence of this campaign to free this offender. It's either orchestrated by himself or by a family member, which spreads misinformation and blatant fabrications about the events of that night. The campaign misrepresents the facts, attempts to discredit law enforcement, and warps the sworn testimony of officers involved. These efforts do not reflect accountability or rehabilitation. They reflect defiance, manipulation, and continued disrespect for the truth. Clemency is not a tool for those who merely want a reduced sentence. It is a solemn and rare measure reserved for those who demonstrate genuine remorse, reform, and responsibility for their past. This offender has done none of these. He remains unrepentant, unrehabilitated, and unworthy of this extraordinary relief. The victims of violent crimes should not have to be re-victimized by having to relive the physical pain and emotional trauma endured by them as a result of the crime. While we appreciate the rights of all, This ploy for clemency in this particular case is just so unfortunate for the victims, who now have to relive the event and be exposed to further victimization almost 2 decades later. For the safety of the public, the integrity of the justice system, and in respect to the victims and law enforcement officers who have suffered as a result of his actions, we urge you to deny any request for clemency submitted by or on behalf of this offender. And thank you for your time and consideration. And sincerely, the following pages are the members of the Egg Harbor Township Police Department. So that's what will be sent to the governor's office, dropped in the mail probably late this week or early next week. I was working that day, and I actually was, I wasn't at the scene, but I did go, I was part of that in post-investigation. And anyone that was working that day, you just don't forget the event and how that unfolded. I talked to retired Chief John Coyle, who was the chief at the time. So I talked to him today, and he sends his regards to Township Committee and appreciation in his anticipation that you are also in support of this opposition for clemency as well.
It's 100% we are. We have a letter that we're just going to, on behalf of all of us, that we are also sending.
But Chief, I got a question, and you may not know. He's asking just now for clemency after how many years he's been incarcerated? It's close to 20, right?
He's been incarcerated, it's about 20 years
Yeah,
between.
I mean, it was 06, I think, if I remember correctly. So, he has asked before, or we don't know?
No, I think this is his first attempt at clemency. I think that before it was
Parole board?
the appeals. He's exhausted all his appeals.
Okay, and it hasn't gone to a parole board or anybody else?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
And this is
Okay,
one
I remember it distinctly. I was just on the committee for like the first year. Sonny was the mayor. We went to the hospital. Claire was there. Okay, this is outrageous. And he did. Murphy shouldn't entertain anything close to this with the facts that are there. It just shouldn't happen. And I got no problem signing it or whatever we're going to do, Laura. I mean, and sending it directly to Murphy. I don't know whether he's thinking of this because he's done in November, but this is ridiculous. He engaged police officers where he shot one, and I don't need to go over the details.
Mayor, if I may. Chief, this is, I mean this both figuratively and literally. When somebody takes a shot at our law enforcement, when somebody, whether it's innocuous as an insult or something as severe as this attempted murder, I, for one, take this as a personal assault. This is not just our department. I think I can speak for everybody up here. As representatives of the entire 50,000+ people in Egg Harbor Township, that we don't take this lightly one bit. It is not only an insult to our community and our police department, but if you're up for it, I will hand deliver that letter with you. I'll drive.
All right, we'll consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I would agree.
Just the timing, Fred. I don't know how quick this is to Murphy.
It needs to be by the end of the month.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got to stay right on it, and it's a good idea. Get it right there to Murphy's office where they stamp it in and they got it. The whole package, okay?
Yeah.
So they can't say they didn't see it or it's out there too late. Because this, to me, is very surprising that this has come up now and the timing of the new governor coming in.
Actually, I'd like to read just, former Chief Ray Davis had written something, and I asked him if I could read it tonight, and he said yes. So it's just, I'm not going to read his whole letter, just one little paragraph of it. But it says, many of us visited Clear and Christopher as they lay in hospital beds, struggling to recover from Blank's brutal assaults. Clear's abdomen and thigh were riddled with gunshot wounds. Larry, saved only by his vest, bore both the physical and emotional scars of a man who narrowly escaped death. The images of their suffering and pain linger with us, and the trauma inflicted upon them continues to this day. Now, the perpetrator, I won't say his name either, seeks clemency, but where is his remorse? Where is his accountability? Nearly 2 decades later, he has yet to accept responsibility for his heinous actions. Instead, he continues to manipulate, spinning self-defense claims that were rejected by a jury and an appeal court since. He reopens the wounds of his victim, forcing them to relive the worst night of their lives every time he files another appeal. And that's what you said too. And it's true. You have to live it again and again and again.
Yep.
and your whole police department.
And every
does.
time you hear his name, it just, again, it's that anxiety that's brought up from, from a victim's perspective. It's just re-victimized all over again. So, no, I think God was watching over the three that night, or actually most of the officers, because the bullets were flying everywhere when the shots were going off. And by the grace of God, Leary was saved because of his ballistic vest, and, Clear was very fortunate.
She was very fortunate. And tomorrow is Peace Officer Memorial Day in the nation, and we are thankful that we don't have to honor their memories
That's
tomorrow.
True. Very true. So,
But yes.
but and to kind of echo what Committeeman Rosenberg had said, this isn't that. This is a violent offender who does not need to be in society, because if someone such as this offender, it's not like it was a blip in a moment for him where this was conscious thought and action, and someone who that society we don't need in society, a dangerous, violent offender.
I don't believe he was the first brush with the law either.
No. But
No.
so.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for reading that on the record.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thank you for your support, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
All right.
He's driving.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He's a good
Get-
driver.
Get it up there and
I'm
let
not
them,
putting Paul in shotgun, I figured that.
yeah. Get it up there and make them stamp it in if they got it.
Absolutely.
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 Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Good idea, Paul.
It's lost in the system. Handy.
And we'll also email it
Yeah, absolutely.
and put it on every social media page we have. So we're going to start with ordinance public hearing. Ordinance number 12, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 12 is an ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement for a tax abatement with EH Storage LLC for Phase 1 of the property located at 3051 Ocean Heights Avenue, otherwise known as Block 6601, Lot 4. Now, the purpose of this ordinance is to authorize the mayor and the township clerk to execute a tax abatement agreement with EH Storage LLC for Phase 1, which consists of 3 separate buildings for a total of 45,000 square feet with related site improvements. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on ordinance number 11? I'm sorry, ordinance number 12. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public
Make a
portion?
motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Firmer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 12?
Make a motion.
Roll call?
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Firmer?
Yes. Ordinance 14 for introduction, Mr. Friedman.
Ordinance 14 is an ordinance providing for the acceptance of a deed of easement conveying real property, dedicating a portion of Block 1316, Lot 15, to the Township of Egg Harbor for the purpose of constructing, improving, operating, and maintaining a 10-foot wide storm utility easement. The purpose of this ordinance is to allow the township to construct, maintain, improve a 10-foot stormwater right-of-way easement to help secure proper stormwater management and drainage in the area and support the public infrastructure improvements. A public hearing on ordinance 14 will be held on June 18, 2025 at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 14?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Firmer?
Yes. We have ordinance 223, the 2025 municipal budget. Resolution 223 authorizes the 2025 municipal budget to be read by title only. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 223?
I make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Firmer?
Yes. Budget adoption public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on the resolution 223 and the adoption of the budget? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Firmer?
Yes. We also have the open space portion of the budget, public hearing. Tom, did you want to say anything about that?
Just our open space tax that we have, as in past years, we use it for recreation improvements to our fields, playgrounds, parks. So that's what this is going to go for again this year.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on the open space public portion or public comment? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Ordinance 224,
Resolution.
I'm sorry, 224. We really jumped on, didn't we? Wow. I'm going to read, I have to read this whole thing into the record. This is resolution amending the 2025 municipal budget. Resolution number 224 of 2025 is amending the 2025 municipal budget. And whereas resolution number 179 authorized approval of the 2025 municipal budget by the governing body at their April 9th, 2025 meeting. And whereas a public hearing on said budget has been held as advertised, and whereas it is now desired to amend said introduced budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Committee of the Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, that the following amendments to the approved 2025 budget were made. 8. Line 8, general appropriations, D, medical debt service excluded from cap. Item interest on bonds, original amount $853,751 is amended to $663,751. Item interest on notes, original amount was $4,273. It's amended to $194,273. Item total excluded from caps will remain at $5,322,101. And be it further resolved that a summary of this amendment shall be published in the Atlantic City Press on May 20th, 2025, and that said publication shall include notice of a public hearing to be held at 5 p.m. on May 28th, 2025 at the Township Hall. So can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 224 of 2025?
This is amending.
This is amending the one-line item.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Janice, do you move this back? Okay. We have a resolution and consent calendar. Resolution 225 through and including 241. Does anybody have any questions? If not, can we have a motion to adopt?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Resolution 242 for the bill list, authorizing payment of all bills pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution 242? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. We've got only one this month, or this meeting. We have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of April in the amount of $1,852,556.07. Can I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Township Committee reports. Mr. Rosenberg.
Mayor, I had the distinct pleasure to receive an invitation from one of our firehouses. In fact, the Chief Dan's and Jim Armstrong are here in the audience. They actually gave up a good 90 minutes, probably 2 hours of their time to teach me what the heck's going on. And they were not shy about it when I first walked in and said, you know what the fire department does? And I said, show up. And they said, that's right. So it was quite the education to understand their particular situation here within the township of the 5 houses. And I'm very much appreciative of the education. I look forward to working with you guys, and well, I may not have, ask my wife, I may not have solutions quick and forthcoming. We'll work on something. I know I'm proud of you guys even before I had the chance to meet you, and I'm sure everybody else is here too. So I appreciate you opening the door, and I'm excited to walk through it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate your time. That door is open for every single member that's sitting up here that would like to have that, basically that same conversation and, you know, and then moving forward.
By the way, Mayor, as a former director of fleet for the Atlantic County government, I have to tell you I was particularly impressed with the way that their vehicles are maintained. From the chief's old vehicle all the way up to the biggest tower they have there, the trucks. I sort of know what I'm looking at, especially condition, and I was incredibly impressed with how they treat the equipment, the partnership that exists.
They know how to make it work.
That's for
Didn't
sure.
you take 2 vehicles and make them one? Was that you?
We've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 2017, when we got our, 2017 was our last township purchase. When we sold 2 trucks off, we did away with 2 trucks to get the new truck and combined the 2 together.
Yeah.
Something that we try to do to put less apparatus on the street and get more bang for our buck. So hopefully that continues along the way.
So,
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Pauls.
I have nothing tonight.
Mr. Hudson.
Couple things. Chief, I want to thank you for bringing it to our attention, because sometimes these things with this clemency goes under the radar and nobody reacts, and I guess it started with the PBA to you, or how we got it, because...
Well, I appreciate the, but I actually didn't bring it to your attention. I think the mayor found out.
Okay, well, however we got it, we need not to let it just go under the,
You can't. It's so important.
under the door to the governor's office, where there's, that, you know, he may believe that it should be something he should do without us telling him how we feel. A lot of these things with the press not in service today, we don't hear about it. If it's not on Facebook or somebody sees it on the computer, you don't know about it. And this shouldn't happen. Okay, it shouldn't happen as easily as they think it would be, like writing the governor. Okay, that's not the case. Number 2 is remind everybody Memorial Day's coming. We're preparing for a nice parade. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and recognize our Secretary Rowe, she's on it, I guess, after 20 years of messing with it. We can't mess it up, but the thing is, the police department's on board. The county's approved our closing Ocean Heights Avenue for the hour or 2 that we need to. And hopefully we'll have a good parade with nice weather on behalf of the veterans in this country for Memorial Day. To the fire departments, they're busy. I mean, I listen to them every day, and I mean, I don't think anybody has to feel like I do, is we're very, very fortunate to have what we have as volunteers. Walmart, I don't know if they're open yet,
They just did.
okay, but I heard the Walmart thing
That's empty.
from my comfortable bed with the TV on. That's a significant fire. I'm sure Walmart, as a corporation, never went through anything close to this, but they had to shut down due to a fire where our fire departments took care of it. And we're busy, the fire departments are busy, and the other day they had a bad fire on Winnipeg Avenue that is just, no fire is a good fire, but it was not a good fire. So to the public safety in this township, you know how I feel about it. Police, fire, and rescue. If we can't do that, we can't run a community. And hats off to the 5 fire departments. And Paul, I give you credit for going over there, because I don't think a lot of people understand what happens when the fire trucks go out and why they're going out. What else do I have here? That's it, I guess.
Question for you regarding the parade. If by chance it rains,
Hope not.
I hope not. But what is the,
Well,
so
here's the
people
back.
know?
The backup plan has always been to go into the rec center.
Okay.
However, we didn't do it last year because of the rain. The intention is to try to get the parade off. Obviously, we can't do the parade with lightning. We can't do the parade with what it did today with the rain. I mean, I never saw our roads flooded like they were today around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So we just hope for good weather. And, you know, that drives the crowd. If the weather's good, we line Ocean Heights Avenue. A lot of people participate, and we have a good day. The banner's up. We have an improvement at the Veterans Memorial for Marco Polo. That thing is looking good there. It's exactly what I've always thought. And the late John Rush wanted to do is improve that out there. A lot of people ask about down the street here. That's not our memorial. That's the county. So everybody asks, well, why don't you do something at the end here?
not
The
us.
plaque, the stone's there, That's the county area, it's not ours. And we have a problem with the county also because the library butts up to us. So we only have that corner, or that
That's all we
frontage. So, I don't know, Mayor, we just have to think about how we readjust and how we get it out to the public, because you know what happened last year? Everybody was calling, is the parade on? It's pouring down and we're all soaked. No, the parade is.
And we're watching the weather, looking for the red clouds.
So, you know, we gotta use a little
So-
common sense, and I don't know if we wanna reconvene to the rec center. Usually the problem is getting the band to go over to the rec center because they're at Harbor Village Square. So I guess we gotta think about it, but the plan is to try to get the parade sharp at 9 o'clock to start on Ocean Heights. And the reason that is, I mean, Sonny always wanted to do it a little later, but the problem is a lot of people want to leave our parade and hit the one in Summers Point, Lumen, or Northfield after us. They want to head out and go down to the other parade. So 9 o'clock, hopefully we'll have good weather and we can get our parade off for an hour and a half.
Good weather. It's definitely gonna be good weather.
A few things to say. Number one thing is I'd like to thank Mrs. Dina Dance and her staff at the rec for a beautiful event they had Saturday, craft show. Those workers worked hard. Everyone who participated, who brought tables for our craft show, really enjoyed themselves. So we got to give our hats off to, you know, Mrs. Dina Dance for spearheading this and the workers that worked there. Also, I got to give a shout out for the teachers. Last night they got the Teachers of the Year award. I think Egg Harbor Township teachers all should get an award, but sometimes we have to pick one or two because we have a beautiful district and beautiful teachers. I was really proud when the paraprofessionals was in that group and got recognized. Over three paraprofessionals received the award of Staff of the Year, and that was really good. One thing I noticed while we were there, they showed a slideshow, and they had, what I do is make sure, like we said, with the older folks, give me my roses while I could smell them. With the younger folks, let's recognize these young people so they won't go astray. The school board had the kids come up and sit in each one's seat, and they had snapshots of it. Today, I met a young kid with Paul. We met him in Wawa. This kid, you know, he had special needs. And the kid, I asked him, did he want to play football? And his dad said, no, he can't play football. So I picked up on his situation, and I said, well, you want to be a mayor? And the kid said, yeah, I want to be a mayor. And for a kid with special needs to come and meet the mayor and meet the committee, I took him to every office in this building today, made his day. The family came with balloons and cards for it. That's how special it was. So we don't know. We shouldn't assume that everybody gets love at home or everybody gets attention at home. Not saying this kid. We got to acknowledge our kids. And that's why I try to be as visible with them as much as possible because they are our future. And, you know, if we don't set examples and show them the way, they're just going to go astray. I always say when we say these kids are out of control, I say, yeah, they're out of control because we go home and watch Netflix. We go home, we shut our door. Men in the community, we go home and eat. A lot of men. We got to get back in the community so these kids can see, you know, what our world is really all about. So I'm really glad, Mayor, for acknowledging I gave up my position as deputy mayor today for the youngster. And like I said, I had to give a shout out, always a shout out to the fire department. They're the best around, and our police department is unbelievable, like the fire. But I just had to get a shout out for you for the craft show. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I really don't have a whole lot, other than since this is Law Enforcement Appreciation Week, Chief, I think on behalf of all of us, we appreciate everything that all of the men and women of our department do on an hourly basis. I mean, every day is different for you all. You don't know what's coming through the doors or on the phone. So for everyone involved in law enforcement, starting with dispatch who takes these calls, we just want to say thank you for all that you do. And I do know you two are my firehouse. So you're going to come up next and speak, but you've been very busy the last couple of days. And our volunteer fire departments in this town are outstanding. And we appreciate each and every one of you for what you do. And unless you do it, which Paul did back in his day, knowing what it means to leave everything you're doing to run to a call, as you all do it. Every time we're with somebody, we were meeting Wally 2 weeks ago. He was pulling in to meet us. His pager went off as he was pulling in. And he turned around and said, "See ya." And it was like, that was it. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. The sheriff just came in.
Oh, the sheriff.
Sheriff, would you like to say anything before we go to public comment? Absolutely.
Sheriff O'Donoghue, Atlantic County Sheriff, formerly of council. I would say I'm here tonight to ask council to support and to present a letter that there should be no clemency for Christopher Blank, who shot one of our officers 3 times. Very upsetting, some of the public comment that I've had to read without knowing the facts. We have one of the finest police agencies in this county, if not this state, right here in Egg Harbor Township. And to allow this to go unanswered, for us to stand by and to allow people to say he should be set free after shooting and permanently disabling one of our officers is unacceptable. I'm sad that some people have negative things to say, but usually they have had prior contact with us, meaning the police agencies, and they're bitter. And it's sad that they haven't gotten spiritual enough in their life to realize what's happened here. But I can't stand by as the sheriff of this county and watch this go unanswered. It cannot go unanswered, nor should it go unanswered. And as you know, Mayor, I spoke to the Mayor's Association today. He attempted to kill 3 officers. And the comments that I'm seeing are incredibly without merit, with no thought for the officers that were permanently disabled and all of us who had to relive that day over and over again. Every day, we send our men and women out there to do a job and protect people even like that. The people who don't believe in our society, don't believe in our culture. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close with this, and thank you for that time, Mayor. Nobody loves what's going on in our society now. We live in it every day, good and bad and ugly, over and over. And nobody loves a warrior till the enemy is at the gate. And that's where we're at now. So I thank you, and I want to say to all my officers and all the officers out here every day who sincerely do their job, my heart is here with you. I will always stand by you, and I just couldn't remain quiet anymore. I've had to read these comments, and I am absolutely, I'll say it, I'm angry as hell. I am. Do not abandon your officer. I know you won't. I'm asking you to send a letter of support.
Got it right here.
Thank you. You're ahead of me, Mayor. Thank you for that. And I hope every other council follows suit. And I want to thank the chief for all his hard work and diligence in this agency and what they do to support other agencies, including ours. Thank you for that time.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you. Well, we're going to open it up to public hearing. Chief? Mr. President, would you guys like to come down?
Okay, it's a test.
It is the test.
Okay,
If it goes again, it won't be.
It's a test.
I mean, my phone ain't go off.
550.
So, Mayor, we're here just for support. As we spoke with Committeeman Rosenberg, and just basically talking about where we're at right now as a fire company. I don't want to speak on behalf of the entire fire department. I'm here as the chief of Carter Fire Company. As you notice, five fire companies under the department. You guys deal with Chief Winkler all the time. We don't necessarily get involved in on that side of it with the financial supports and what's going on between the talks between
committee and Chief Winkler, but we have our issues within our own realm of the fire company. Cardiff is the busiest station in Egg Harbor Township. We do approximately 650 runs a year. Barkington's close behind us. Everybody else is a good 250 to 300 calls a year behind our call count. As Mr. Hodson said today, I think we're at 6 calls today. In the last week, we've had 2 working structure fires. Over the weekend, we got tuned out for approximately 3 structure fires that turned out not to be, but we're running. And financially, we need to just have a conversation about, typical support for the bills coming in through the firehouse. I don't think we're going to take a lot of time up tonight to discuss like all the ins and outs of that, but inflation is there. Our help from the department, from the township, is not really growing with inflation as our bills are growing, and we're trying to run 2 stations. So we just want to sit down, have a conversation, discuss, come up with some solutions on what we can do looking forward for not only for Cardiff, but for the other fire companies that are protect this township, because we all do work together. We're just coming up front. I would like to say one thing for the police chief and for this letter for the clemency. As a father of an Egg Harbor Township police officer and a 32-year firefighter, and James as a past police officer, we will be submitting a letter also from our fire company, and I will try to get it through the fire department also, sending it as support for you guys and a support for the police chief. I remember that night vividly. We ended up with, while that whole process was going on, we ended up with a car fire out on Delilah Road. And when I got off the fire truck, car was on fire. I got off the fire truck and I look, and I got approximately 10 officers with their long guns out. That's not normal. That's not normal. So, we proceeded to handle the car fire, and then I proceeded to walk up to the chief at the time and be like, what is going on? And that's when we found out that the wheels were in motion on what was happening. So the fire department jumped in, obviously we don't handle law enforcement, but I do know there was some equipment that the law enforcement requested that night. We gave up our equipment to help them with their search. Whether it helped or not, I'm not really sure, but whatever they needed, we gave and, stayed in the background. But, I understand where all this comes from, and every single day when my son walks out of that house, I have to think about that. So they have our support 100%.
Thank you.
You have anything you want to say?
Mayor, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to speak. And Mr. Rosenberg, again, thank you for your time the other night. I'll be brief. I think the chief hit on everything. And Mr. D'Antino, I know we've communicated through email. Been associated with this fire company since 1989. My first year in the Cardiff Firehouse, we did 153 calls per service. And I remember thinking, holy cow, this is really a busy firehouse. Here we are years later, and the chief said we touched on 650. It's gone up every year for the last 10 years. What hasn't changed is the budget, and that's why we came here to hopefully open up some dialogue, have a seat at the table, and we would be willing to entertain any of you, just as we did Mr. Rosenberg, to kind of explain the things. And Mr. Hodson touched on it a little bit earlier. Sometimes people think you dial 911, you get a fire truck, and that's it. It goes back in the firehouse. There's a lot more to that process than just that. With training, experience, education, the chief can tell you he's the same certifications as any paid fire chief in the state of New Jersey. He does it for a lot less money. So that's why we want to open the door and have this conversation. And Mr. D'Antino, I apologize. You may have thought I meant for this year. When we communicated, I did not. But in the future, we're looking forward to a continued open dialogue.
I'd like to, if you don't mind, Mayor, just any day better for you guys during the week, after hours, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock?
After hours.
After hours is better for us.
Okay, I'll get with the mayor and I'll get you an email before the end of the week, a bunch of dates, and you let me know what works for you guys.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Schedule no fires for a little
appreciate your time.
Yeah, don't set any fires.
Yeah, hopefully not.
2 days, guys.
We can't-
2
we
days.
can't do anything
You've been
about
quite
that.
busy this week,
We
so.
can't control that.
I think I think we're at about 225 for the year right now,
Alright.
just the car. And I do believe over the weekend and including today, I want to say we're somewhere around 18 to 20 calls since Saturday. So that's, so you guys understand the T-station thing and all that. I do want to make sure that it's said though, we are very grateful for the assistance that we get from the township.
And the support.
And the support. We do have top of the line equipment. Our firefighters are in the best gear that's on the market. We have some of the best equipment on the market. On that side of it, you guys we're hitting home runs all the way. I will not complain about that. We just need a little extra assistance looking at the operational side. That's it.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to all of you for that support that you give us every year with the equipment. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the governing body? Just your name for the record.
Norma Lombardi.
You can push that down. Make it easier.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's my first item. There's 2 items I want to discuss. This sound system is still atrocious. I am 12 feet away, and it was very difficult to understand these fantastic gentlemen, including your microphones yourself. It's not working in here. It hasn't worked in years, and it really isn't working now. Put another 20 people in here, and nothing will be heard back here. I only wish you would sit back there for 15 minutes and listen to what you cannot hear of what's going on here. I mean, the police chief was here. I assume he was speaking into this mic. I am speaking into the mic, and I can elevate my voice to fill this room. But we have every right to listen to the dialogue that is occurring here. It's your sound system. You have not improved it, rectified it. It is not operating. That being said, I have a kind request as a resident and taxpayer in Egg Harbor Township. Madam Mayor, you had read a resolution amending the 2025 municipal budget.
Yes.
Again, it was very difficult to hear, but you did read it into the record, and so be it. How can I get a copy of that before your next meeting?
I can give you this.
May
This
I?
is what I read. So that's what I read verbatim. Basically what it is the state wanted us to break out something that was in one account into 2 accounts. So there's no dollar change on the overall budget, but they wanted something instead of in one account, they took, one should be 663 and the other one should be 190. We had it at 800 and change. I don't remember the exact number, but that's what that is.
I did, and all these numbers seem to be, it's amended to go to a lesser number that I'm
No,
looking.
the number changes. The number is not changing. The account classification is changing. That's the only thing that changed.
You had presented the budget. I do happen to have it, and you will resolve it at your next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Will we have an increase or not? And if so, is it a 2% increase, a 6-cent increase? What is it?
It's a 1 cent increase.
It is a 1 cent.
1 cent.
1 cent, not a 1% as was said. So it's 1 cent increase. That is a couple.
Yeah, it's a 1 penny increase.
Okay. I thank you very much. I'll be back next month. Thank you.
It's the 28th. Is there anyone else that would like to? Come on down. And can you just give your name for the record?
Lauren Ferguson. I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you so much. A little taller. I'm not necessarily a public speaker, but Mr. Friedman, it's very nice to meet you. I am here on behalf of Acreage CCF New Jersey, which I know you've been in contact with. I have a speech prepared. I'm not really a public speaker again. My name is Lauren Ferguson. I've been proudly employed by Acreage CCF, also known as The Botanist. We are a vertically integrated cannabis facility, adult use and medicinal, located in Egg Harbor Township. I was actually hired in the days of Compassionate Care Foundation. I know that Egg Harbor Township was a partner to us in getting the license pushed through. So it's been a pleasure to work in this township and with members of Egg Harbor Township for quite some time. Over that time, I have seen firsthand how much this company has invested, not just in its facility, but in the people, in the township, and in the broader community. We employ 93 people at our Egg Harbor Township facility, including dozens of residents that live within this town. We've been involved in local charities, community outreach efforts, and have strived to be a good neighbor and a responsible corporate citizen. I'm here today as it has come to our attention that our organization was not listed on the agenda for the local renewal of cannabis licenses in Egg Harbor Township. We've been working with Egg Harbor Township for over a year as a tax deficit was identified by the township. And Acreage CCF has been working in tandem with Mr. Friedman and your tax assessor to audit and account for that deficit. Recently, we have self-reported that there was a deficit of $400,000 due to the township that we are willing to make good on, working in tandem with Mr. Friedman and members of the tax department. We followed the guidance that we could find in the relevant statutes and ordinances, and we've asked for clarification when needed. In the most recent communication sent to Egg Harbor Township, we were informed that our information was insufficient, and with limited clarification, our findings were rejected. This brings us to why I'm here today. We fear that not being listed on the renewal sends the message that our license is at risk of lapsing. Not because we haven't tried to meet the requirements with the township, but because we're not being told what more is needed. That puts not just our business, but the livelihoods of the dozens of employees and the continuity of our business, including the medical cannabis community, at stake. We have proposed a short-term solution, requesting a 3-month extension to continue working with Egg Harbor Township to keep operations running while we work through any outstanding issues. But so far, we have not been given a clear path forward. Acreage CCF is proud to work in Egg Harbor Township. We want to stay here. We want to keep investing here, and we're asking for transparency and good faith from the township as we continue to bring that to the table ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. D'Antino or Mr. Friedman, either one of you would want to address that?
Well, it is a subject matter for executive session, and we'll be discussing it then. I'll be bringing some perspectives to the Township Committee's attention, and the committee will take that under consideration and be able to give a reply to Acreage and their representatives. I think that we're moving in the right direction, at least within the past week, to get us to this location. They are like any other taxpayer in the township. It's their burden to basically pay the taxes that are due to township. If they have some questions as to how to calculate or something like that, we'll work together cooperatively to do that. And I think that significant progress has been made in the past week. And as I told your League of Representatives, we'll be back to them shortly after tonight's meeting.
I appreciate that. I just want to confirm, I understand that sometimes between legal and finance, I'm someone who works in the facility. Okay. I manage the entire facility. Again, it's almost 100 employees. We want to be here. We want to work with you. I know those conversations can get contentious, but I just want you to know, as an employee and as someone who, I live in Galloway. I don't live in Egg Harbor Township, but I am a member of this community. Joe, who you've spoken with, is Egg Harbor Township resident, but we're committed to a path forward, and I just want to put that on record.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the governing body? Just your name for the record, please.
Doris Dilley, Mill Road, Egg Harbor Township. I'm good, thank you. I just have a question for the governing body. Could you please tell me what the surplus currently is, and if any surplus was used to settle or come to the number for the current budget or the budget for next year?
I'm going to give that to Mr. D'Antino. Yeah, the answer is yes, we did use some of it.
Could I have the number that was used, and can I have the number that it currently sits at, please?
I'm gonna say we use 4.5 million, but I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate. Oh, that's my notes on it.
May I, Mayor?
If you haven't
Sure,
found
you
it.
got it right there.
I think I found it. I'm thrilled that I'm getting the hang of it. The budget utilizes $5 million
yeah.
as surplus to help offset the budget, will leave us a fund balance of $9.18 million.
So the surplus is at 9.18 million. You used 5 million, so you had 14, should we say? Yes. What would the governing body see as an appropriate amount of surplus that should be held by the township? A safety net for any catastrophic
We
event.
try to, 8 to 10 million, we try to keep.
You try to keep 8 to 10.
It's hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's very hard sometimes.
Right.
In this case, if you recall, we had the American Rescue Funds that we used for 3 years, so that built our surplus to what it was. So now we have a good amount where we'd like to be, and that's why we used 5 million of it this year.
It's a shame that you had to use that amount of money out of the surplus in order to get the budget to where it is, but I understand completely. And I appreciate your time and the information. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.
You too. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion? Thank you. Can you roll call on that one? No. No. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Can I say one thing, Matt?
Yes,
About
sir.
the sound system?
Yes.
Just so you guys are aware, money was moved last meeting to cover the expense because it's more than I anticipated. Right now, I have one quote that we're working
Mrs.
off
Lombardi, you
of.
might want to hear this.
Our IT department's been working, Clark, very hard on this. Right now, I have a quote at in the neighborhood of $53,000 to replace the system. He's working on another vendor that we had got a quote from before, hoping to get it down to under 40. So it's a work in progress, and we will have something at some point, but just letting you know where we're at.
Okay, thank you.
It's been
Appreciate
looked
that.
at numerous times.
We've been checking on it.
Excuse me, man.
And
If you
Clark
don't-
checks this system every day before a meeting, just
If
to
you
make
don't
sure.
get it down, I'll bring my beatbox. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes. And do
But
we,
the system's, Janice, what's this, 20-plus years old?
at least.
So your $50,000 is hopefully gonna last
Well, I
way
think
beyond us.
during COVID, everything was sprayed down with something that we're not quite sure what it was. I mean, there was a listing on the.
It's solid out.
It's, yeah, I think that did a lot of damage to the system.
Sure, no
I mean, it
doubt.
really did. And do we have need for a closed session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I gave you a break last time.
Oh, no.
Resolution 243 authorizes Township Committee to convene into closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and or legal matters. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstance presently exists, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss matters that involve personnel and or legal matters as follows. Personnel, an update on the Deputy Director of Public Works position, anticipated disclosure 6 months. Acreage CCF, aka the botanist, taxation, anticipated disclosure 1 year. The cell tower lease update, anticipated disclosure 6 months. And the sale of, potential sale of township property, multiple applications that we had discussed prior, anticipated disclosure 6 months. Just an update on that.
Good.
All right, whereas the minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee, Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to go into closed?
So moved.
A second.
Roll call?
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yeah.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes.